The Jays last night decide we're just going to start the offseason here. And they signed Dylan Cease to a 7-year, $210 million deal. The reaction is hilarious, and I think it should be flattering if you're a Blue Jay fan. Because the second he signed, everyone, Cease stinks, too much money. Padre fans are like, I didn't want him. Yankee fans, we didn't want him either. Cubs fans, not interested. That's actually a testament to what the Jays have created with one playoff run.
Yeah.
It's like anything you do, every other fan base is like, this guy's a bust, too much money. Listen, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of commitment. It's one of the tangible changes in sports in my lifetime is starting pitchers getting long-term deals. Never used to happen.
No.
Never used to happen. And you look at his ERA last year, not great, walks a lot of guys, gave up home runs, but this is a classic Shapiro and Atkins move. Durable arm, great stuff. And I think they deserve to be confident in the system that they've built when it comes to Pete Walker and the whole staff. If you give me durability, if you give me good stuff, we can mold it into something that's going to work. And who cares if it's a lot of money? That's a good sign. That means Rodgers and company are like, do you like him? Do you think he helps you win? Go get him. Let everyone else complain about the money.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is – I don't know what he's going to be over 7 years. In reality, there's probably going to be 2 or 3 of the 7 where you don't love it. That's just the reality of almost every starting pitcher outside of the top 5 or 6 guys. But if he's healthy and he's got ace stuff, he doesn't have to be the ace. I think the hope is and the plan is that Savage grows into that, and he becomes the guy who's leading the charge. And they needed to invest in the rotation because this likely is the end of Scherzer now, likely the end of Bassett unless he comes back in some swing position. I'm not sure how that would work. I'm not convinced Barrios and the Blue Jays have a relationship in the future that's going to work. I kind of get the impression it was pretty ugly behind the scenes, the way things ended at the end of the year. Now he's got a few years left, that decent money. I don't know what the market looks like for him. But now you set up with Gausman, Savage, Bieber, Dylan Cease. Again, this is what they do. Gausman, he stays healthy in pitches. Barrios, he stays healthy in pitches. Bassett, healthy in pitches. Dylan Cease, healthy in pitches.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of value in that. Yes, it's not perfect stuff across the board. Yes, he'll get hit at times. Yes, he'll miss his spots. But he's got pretty nasty stuff, and he's going to be on the mound every 5th day. There's a lot of value in that.
You would hope with that amount of money there won't be too much of a molding type scenario like you just mentioned. Like for 200 sheets, you better come in there and be good, Hayes.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm not saying this is a building up from scratch scenario. That's not what like. It's not a like Robbie Ray's getting used to. Robbie Ray came out of nowhere. Yes, he had great stuff. The guy won a Cy Young. Like no one saw that coming, where it flipped like that. But I think this is just, find the zone a little bit more. He walked a lot of guys last year. Easier said than done. But, like, really quality stuff that can step in and just improves your staff immediately. Yeah. If you're a Blue Jay fan, I think it's a great signing. I think it's a great play that the Jays said, we're not going to waste time here. We like you. We want you. We'll pay you. What's the price? Done. We're in. That's
great
a sign
for the
of a
fan
bold
base
team.
too, because the fan base is like, okay, it wasn't just a one-off, and then they're going to take 3 years off now and not care about the results. They're just kind of stacking right back up, and they want to do it again.
Exactly.
So if you, it's an expensive kind of PR move, but everybody kind of in Blue Jays land was jacked up, saying, "Oh, we got this." By the way, he was with the White Sox before the Padres, wasn't he?
Yes, earlier in his career.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, this is a great moment for Toronto. Like, think about this. Like, did you ever think you'd see the moment where the Blue Jays are dumping, Scott Boras money? This is a Scott Boras client, and they're paying top dollar. Like
seventh highest in MLB. Now, there's deferrals and stuff.
Sure.
Right? But it's a lot of money. They've committed a lot to it.
It's more than double. Like, their previous, highest contract to a pitcher was Gausman at 5 years, $100 million. This is more than double that, right? So they're spending a ton of money. And this is a moment where, look, they made a ton of money on the World Series run. The tickets were outrageously expensive, but people were paying for them. And Rodgers is a $20 billion market cap company in U.S. funds, which is right up there with Steve Cohen in terms of you can't really compare personal net worth to market cap, but it's a very rich entity that owns the Blue Jays. And guess what? This is a moment where you hear Hal Steinbrenner with the Yankees saying, being funny about maybe we didn't make any money.
We don't make a profit here. That's unfair to suggest that.
I wouldn't mind seeing us cut payroll Blue Jays are looking at that saying, oh, yeah, okay.
Go ahead.
Guess who the big boy in the AL East is right now when it comes to deep pockets?
Right.
It ain't the Yankees anymore. It certainly isn't the Red Sox, who've been very, cost averse over the past handful of years, much to the chagrin of their fans. Like, Blue Jay fans should be happy here. Like, yeah, prices have gone up, and, they're going to milk you every time you walk into that place for every dollar in your pocket, but they're spending it back on the team, and that means a lot.
If the payoff is going to a World Series, then the building's going to be full every single night. And, yeah, this is a scenario where, again, it comes down to the who cares what the viewpoint of anyone outside of Blue Jay fandom is, but there's always a sensitivity with Blue Jay fans. How do the American media respond? How do people, if the Dodgers did this, it would be, wow, what a great play. Like, that's a talent. He's one of the most sought-after free agents. Go get him and add him to your list, and that means they want to win. And I think that's what's happened here is – yes, you could have haggled. Yes, you could have waited until you got to the GM meetings or winter meetings and maybe someone else gets in there first. Obviously, a price was put forth from Boris, said anyone that can get to probably 200, 210, you can have them. And the Jays said, we like you and we're going to pay it.
Yeah.
And we're not going to wait. We're not going to hope it drops to 190 or 195. We're not going to.
They might have done in the past.
And they probably would have.
Yeah.
And listen, there's probably other owners out there like the Mets, maybe the Dodgers, maybe the Giants, maybe others that said, we would have paid it, but we were going to wait a month. And the Jays didn't. And the Jays they're serious about business right now. And again, this guy, it's not Skubal, it's not Crochet. This is not an ace that they've acquired here. But it's a guy that is very durable. And this is what this front office has done ever since they arrived. They've been very good at picking the right guy in terms of starting pitching. Like from Gausman, who's been basically a home run, Bassett for the most part, Barrios up until down the stretch this year has been exactly what you would expect him to be. Pretty good stuff and durable. And that's what Dylan Cease is. He doesn't get hurt. Now, you knock on wood, but that's something I'm surprised the rest of baseball doesn't invest more in. Like making sure you're going to pay a little bit more money for a guy that's actually going to be available to you.
Well, that's
actually
something that's
pitching.
so unpredictable, Hayes. What I'm curious about is what's left over as far as Bichette. Like what?
I think more than enough money. I'd be shocked if I don't think this has anything to do with whatever that Bichette number was going to be. This says to me that if
Bichette?
Well, but I think it's the opposite. Oh, this says to me what Dave's saying, that they're saying we've got the money, go.
Yeah.
And I think there's also an understanding in baseball that a salary cap might be coming. That's why Steinbrenner is saying what he's saying. I think Steinbrenner's fallen on the sword for the commissioner and the other owners.
Oh, yeah.
Which is shocking because it's the Yankees. And his dad would be rolling and be like, are you kidding me? Who cares about these other teams? We don't want a salary cap. We want to spend. But that's what I read from that Steinbrenner quote is, maybe we're not making a profit. Maybe we need a $250 million or whatever it is. And I think the Jays and probably the Dodgers and other teams are like, we might get there in a year or two, but before then, let's get crazy while we still can get crazy.
Take our advantage while we can.
Absolutely.
Look, this is a team, and I think, I know this guy is not an ace, Hayes, and he's not Ohtani, he's not Sasaki, he's not Juan Soto, but in all those cases, the Jays were essentially the runner-up, just like they were runner-up at the World Series this year. And here they are saying, no, we're not going to be runner-up this time. We want this guy, we're going to get this guy. I'm not comparing him to those players, and it's not winning a World Series, not even winning the offseason yet, although it's a pretty good start. But I think it's important. It's a statement of intent.
Yes.
It's to say, hey, we're not fooling around here. We're not just going to put that money we made in the World Series run in our pocket and laugh all the way to the bank. We're going to continue to invest in the team. And you're right. If they stop here and say, well, now we can't afford Bo, that'll be a different story. But I'm with Hayes. I don't interpret their actions in that way right now.
No, I think again it's a sign to Bichette or Tucker if that's who they're after. Like we're in it to win it, and if you sign long term, we have a plan beyond this year. Because again, Bassett's up, Scherzer's up, Gossman's going to be up after next year. Bieber likely that'll be it. He opted in for 1 year. We'll see. They need guys for 27 and 28 and 29, and that's where Dylan Cease factors in.